and that's where I found the law-abiding biker video on the recalls. And I recalled the very first time looking at it. I didn't even have a bike yet, and I was looking at your video on the recalls on the hydraulic clutch, and you put out a video out there, and the fact that there was so much support for the Harley community, that made it easier for me to make the decision that, you know what, if something were to go wrong, I can at least go on the video and find a bunch of resources, and in particular, going to Law Abiding Biker, and that was really helpful to help me make the decision. You know, rideability, I love both the rides, but, you know, I think for the money, for the bang for the buck, and the support that you get through the internet and the videos, it was definitely worth it to get a Harley. Aside from that, you know, the other thing that really drove me to really look into the lawabidingbiker.com and become a Patron was, you know, I started realizing, listening to your podcasts, that you guys are all, you know, either current or former LEOs. And, you know, for me, I was a reserve police officer in the greater Los Angeles area. And it was something that I gave up to do because I had to take care of my family. There was no time for the reserve work for me to do it anymore. And I did it for, you know, a number of years. And really, I transitioned from that weekend time going to work at a police station to riding my motorcycle on the weekend. And so it was just kind of a natural transition for me to kind of hook up with this group with really good people and good support and good information out there to help me out as a new Harley owner.
That's awesome, man. Good. Hey, so you found us on the clutch video and awesome, man, LA Reserve. That's cool, man. Putting in your time there, just volunteering and stuff. I want to ask you, so you found us on the Harley Reclutch call video. You're saying you never had a motorcycle before that at all?
No, I've always either rented or borrowed a friend's, you know, ride it and give it back, or, you know, even just really, I'd spent like my first year in my 20s, I spent like money going to motorcycle safety course just to ride a bike. And so, you know, for me, a lot of people say, hey, you know, don't get a big bike. Don't get a big Street Glide Special because you might not be able to handle it. For me, it was more about, you know, understanding the risk, know what I'm up against, and just really practicing. And you know, and now 2 years later, here I am.
That's sweet, man. So I was just listening to your story there and I made a few notes. So Victory, you were looking at the Victory and the Street Glide. Did you test ride that Victory?
Mm-hmm.
So you basically test rode both of them and then you decided on the Harley basically.
Yeah. And really mostly the Victory was a little bit too stretched out for me in terms of my reach. And I would have needed to, you know, do some kind of adjustment. The Harley just fit me a little bit better. And I would have to say that the rideability, you know, how it moves, how it turns corners, the Victory is a little bit smoother than the Harley. But, you know, overall, what really pushed me over the edge was, you know, for the amount of money that we're all paying for Harley Davidsons, I want to be able to find places that would support that bike. You know, I'm not looking forward to paying $500 for an oil change or, you know, doing crazy stuff at the dealership. I want to find support so that I can do that on my own. And, you know, really finding the lawabidingbiker.com pushed me over the edge.
That's awesome, man. Love hearing that stuff, man. Just, you know, worked today. Like I tell you guys, I've been up since early this morning and it's 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time now, so it's been a long day, but getting set up for this and to hear stuff like that from guys like you that are part of the community, I truly tell you guys, man, from the bottom of my heart, man, it makes me realize that I got to keep pushing forward when I get frustrated sometimes with all the work that's involved. And so thank you, man. I appreciate, saying that. Rick,
Absolutely.
you got anything on that?
Yeah, what I'm really impressed with is there are a lot of people out there that try different bikes, and being lab here, we're into all bikes. But I'll tell you, even Ryan knows this. Last year when I went to buy, I was down in Las Vegas on my Road King and ended up buying my Ultra Limited, and I was looking at the Indian because I wanted an American bike, and it was the new bike out. But I'll tell you, the one thing that kept me with the Harley was the fact that I'd always had them. I knew how to work on them, but I always know that there's always something out there that you can find if you've got a question. And I always laugh when before I actually met Ryan in person, first thing I did was pull up his video on how to adjust the clutch. And I was pulling this up, and then a few months later I met him and I sent him and I said, "Hey, thanks for that video." And I'm pretty mechanical, but with this new hydraulic clutch, I didn't have that at the time, but I was like, hey, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So it's cool to hear you say things like that, like one of the deciding factors, because you knew you could find information on it. Because some of the other brands right now just don't have all that yet. It will probably come, and we're trying to provide some of that with our Indian maintenance video and some of our Victory stuff. But that really impressed me. That's because that's the same thing for me, is just, can you find something out there and do some work on the bike yourself?
Yeah, that's a good call. And, I think I said it in the last episode, which just released on podcast format with Greg Gaxiola, and I'll just reiterate it, is that, when we started this thing, that was one of the reasons we started, as I was just, and everybody knows us by now. We're pretty humble. I don't mean that in an egotistical way at all. I was looking around going, the quality of videos and the lack of detail, I just kind of got frustrated with some of it. And same with some of the, different podcast and forums out there. So, we just thought, hey, what the hell? I'll give it a shot and see if I can at least do it a little bit justice. And I still think it's only a little bit justice, but to hear things like that, that's just really, really cool. In the chat room, I always mention I like to get everybody involved. Thanks. And it's hard on this one, Rick and Dar, because they can kind of, in the other chat, we use the chat wing when we're doing just live audio. You can kind of see names because it's attached to Facebook. So Drag NOCT, welcome, C4IOMC, and William Cody Case 2. I know that William Cody Case, of course, and he's a patron. And so I just like to throw out some of the guys that are in the chat. Thank you all for out there in the blabosphere, I like to call it. And hey, Dar, have you been on Blab before? Or is this your first Twitter and first Blab?
First time.
That's sweet, brother. You're the man. Just, you can't get everybody to just, for lack of a better term, just nut up and just come on, man, because we're kind of used to doing it, but I get it. A lot of people aren't used to being live audio, let alone live video. So good to you. But he's from California, dude. They can handle it down there, man.
Land of the Hollywood stars, right?
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. So let's get into our main topic here. And you guys, we'll get through some of this material, and then obviously there's an open seat in the Blab, and it is open. So please don't be offended if I don't bring you on right away. But if you want to take a seat and you want to say hi and give a quick shout out, or during the conversation, if you think you can bring something to it, or if you have a question, we'll bring people off and on, and I'll open up that fourth Blab seat. But I can't, depending on if somebody's going through and talking like Dar's telling something, I can't just bring you on to interrupt right away. So I will get to it. So feel free, you guys out there, that if you want to take that open seat, just be patient, and I will click you in as I see that it will fit. So there you go. So main topic. Now, I just want to say that Dar was the one that brought this to my attention, and I want to say it was probably earlier in 2015, and we're so backed up here. And I thought it was really cool information. And we got, Dar, I'll tell you, that I appreciate you sending me that email. And that's the way the community works, guys. You guys can send us emails and we try to, we make a list and then we try to triage and prioritize things about what is really burning in the community. And so we kept getting emails on this particular subject. And so I referred back because I had saved all Dar's stuff and I was able to refer back to it. And then Rick, we got in Slack, which is a program in Law Abiding Biker that we use to organize everything. We started just hammering down how we're going to make a video about this because we want to just, we get inundated with emails. And so when I'm able to make a video, when we get those emails, then it's so easy for us to respond because we just refer people to the video. So that's why we did it, Dar. We were getting that many questions on it.
Wow.
And Dar was way ahead of the game because Dar had already figured this stuff out and shared it with us. So let me just preface it by saying, again, guys, if you want to get that video, it's over on our YouTube channel or the website. Just search for it. Just call it Headset Hack. And I use that lightly because it's funny, because it's just a workaround is what it is. It's not, by saying hack, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I think it's a pretty cool deal and it works for some people. And that is the boombox system, the Harley Davidson boombox system. And Rick, you can jump in at any time on this too, or follow up to what I have to say. The boombox system, a lot of guys over the years, they got it. And I know when I first did, I was expecting it to have a headset profile, and that's a HSF, guys, is what that is. So I figured it's a Bluetooth connectivity. I should be able to buy a Bluetooth headset like a helmet and pair it. What do you guys, is that what you guys were thinking when you bought the bike too?
Yeah. When I bought mine in Vegas and I rode down there with a Sena 5, me and Brian and his brother Tim, we had Senas all the way down just so we could communicate. It's a long ride, 1,000 miles. And so we, wanted that availability. And the dealer told me, oh yeah, it will take it. It'll take it. And so I go and buy this bike and he's sitting there telling me that my Sena 5 is going to sink, and it's not. And the dealer was insistent, well, it must be something wrong with your headset. It must be something wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's pairing just fine to my phone. I'm sitting here on the bike and I'm making a phone call. And so that was my first inclination that there was something wrong with it. And then, of course, I started doing research when I got home on the issue. And following up with what you said, Ryan, we're still, even though we've got the video, we're still getting emails from people saying, hey, I've got my Sena hooked up to it and I'm using this adapter. We're not contesting that at all. Like Darwin will tell you how he did it. We know there's a workaround. We know that you can get some of it done. The whole point of the video, of course, is saying there is no direct connect, because we still have people, believe it or not, followers out there who listen to us. We still have people emailing us telling us that they have a Sena or they have some type of Bluetooth device and they're syncing it to their radio directly. And we're sitting here kind of, we want to be nice, but we're like, it's not possible. I've talked to the customer service rep. I've talked to the technical service manager. It's not possible. So that's why we wanted to bring you on, Darcy. You could kind of, now they're hearing it from somebody else. And so there is those workarounds. And, I hear there's a company out of Germany that's producing a unit that will actually allow some of those voice interactive commands. But to do that, it's like $500, $600.
Yeah.
So it weighs what you want, what you're willing to pay for, and what's your advantage to it. So just be advised. I mean, anybody who's telling you can go directly from your headset to the radio, it's not true. Yeah, you can find workarounds, but you cannot just go directly. And some of these dealers don't even know that. That's
correct. For me, first of all, I got to preface it. This is all Harley's fault. I got sold on a bag of goods on Super Bowl Sunday when they showed the Rushmore commercial, and the phone rings and it's your boss or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I was like, oh, cool. I can answer phone calls and stuff. And, Victories can't do that. Cool. That made my decision. And so I went ahead. I had the same experience when I went down to the dealership and, got my bike, and the dealer was great. Orange County, Harley Davidson, wonderful people down there. But, they were saying, yeah, it hooks up to your phone. You can look at your contacts and all of that. And I ride off and goes home and tries it out. And I spent like 2 hours trying to figure out. My phone ran out of battery because I couldn't figure it out how exactly it's going to work. And so, I started looking around on the internet, and really nobody knew what to do because this was still 2014. It's brand new. And nobody really had a solution. And so I started looking into Sena in particular because my buddies and I, when we ride, we're on a Sena communicator. So, we're talking intercom through that. And so I knew that my starting point had to be making sure the Sena works properly. And I knew that the Sena can hook up to a phone, and really trying to figure out, okay, how is the Sena going to hook up to my Harley boombox system?
Yeah, the Sena is a great product. I mean, we had nothing but positives to say for it doing our bike-to-bike communications. So tell us a little bit, Dar, once you decide, what Sena product did you go with?
So I have a Sena SMH10. It's one of the older models. But really is the tried and true. It's been around for a long time. In fact, they came up with SMH20 and then came up with S20, and now it's S10. So, my model's pretty old. It's a couple of years old, but it works really well. And I chose the Sena product because my friends were all riding with Sena products.
So your battery life, what kind of battery life are you getting out of that unit? I mean, obviously you're playing music and everything, and you'll talk to us a little in a few minutes about how you did your workaround. But that's one thing that people need to consider when they're talking about going to a Bluetooth headset, especially if you do a lot of touring. Ryan and us, I mean, it's not uncommon for us to, when we go our ride, do 500, 600 miles a day, ride for 8 hours. What kind of battery life are you getting out of that?
So I did go to Sturgis this year. Unfortunately, I couldn't hook up with you guys just because of schedules. So I rode from Southern California to South Dakota. And it was a two-day trip approximately. And my first leg was 850 miles or so.
Attaboy.
Stopping at Colorado. It was a long, we took a detour. We kind of messed up around Arizona, and the places were booked up for hotels. So it was already 6 o'clock at night, and we had to ride another 4 hours to get to Colorado to get into a hotel room. That was a 15-hour ride, and my Sena held up for the time, and it did started to kind of fade out the last hour or so. So it pushed to the limit. I would say from beginning to end over 12 hours.
And was that just music, or were you doing any interpersonal communications or telephone calls or anything like that?
It was mostly music, and that there was a few intercom conversations, especially when we're running out of gas, where we're going to stop. And phone calls, I think I had like maybe 1 or 2 phone calls. That was it.
Okay, good. And that's why I wanted you to talk a little bit about the battery life and stuff like that. So go on with, once you decided with the Sena, how did you get to the next step that you wanted to go to try and find some way to have that Bluetooth capability where you're at least listening to your audio? Because there's a lot of misconceptions out there that, well, if I do this, I'm going to be able to hear GPS prompts, and you can. There's also some people who think it's going to be in stereo, and depending on the product, there are some in stereo. And then there's one company that's producing one that they tell you right on the thing that's in mono. So there's a lot of different products out there. So how did you come about getting to where you got to where you said, okay, now I'm going to go Bluetooth? What did you need? What kind of research? And especially when you get to the end of it, I want to know, how long does it take you to fire up your bike and get this system going just to listen to music? Because that would drive me crazy.
Yes.
I admire you for going through all that work.
Yeah. And before, hey, Dar, hold that question. And I love it, Rick. It's rolling, and this is the great conversation. So let me just clean up a few little things in case you're tuning in, because we get it, all of us three sitting here, but the audience may not completely. So to put it in really easy terms, guys, the boombox system was never designed. Harman Kardon designed the system. It was never out of the factory created with a headset profile. It was created with a handset profile, a hands-free, which is an HFP, a hands-free profile. It's different. A Bluetooth headset on a helmet is a different profile to go into that boombox. You can pair your phone with it. So you can take your iPhone or your Android. The boombox and Harman Kardon, Harley Davidson, they made it that way. It's out of the factory. The firmware is made to do that with your smartphone, to have your contacts and to be able to listen to your music and all those, basically pushing from your phone to the boombox. That profile's there. That's a no-brainer. It's not a problem. The problem is the headset profile. It was not built that way. And my personal opinion is it's not the current version of the boombox from 14 to 15 and now 16. It doesn't have it. It's the same boombox. I don't think it's going to have it. I don't think they're going to do a headset profile where you compare directly with an aftermarket headset. In fact, Harley doesn't even make a Bluetooth headset that pairs directly with it. There's a reason they don't. The reason they don't is because it was never built that way. So that's what we're talking about. And now Dar's going to take over. And now that it won't pair directly, Dar's thinking, I got to have some functionality, and being the smart guy as he starts diving in. So take it from there, Dar, if you would.
Okay, so I looked into the SMH10 manual, how the Bluetooth connects to different devices. And it came down to the fact that, to put it in simple terms, the Bluetooth communicator on the SMH10 can hook up to pretty much any type of Bluetooth device that supports the hands-free profile, as well as A2 DP, that is the advanced audio distribution profile. And that's what the phone is. And so I knew that the Harley boombox was going to be able to push data out, meaning audio. The audio sound's going to come out somewhere. And I did look into the wire system, and to change the console to get the update, right at where the gas tank is, to hook up the wires. And I looked at the Harley dealership prices. That's the conversion somewhere around $300. And I'm like, no, that there's got to be a better way. What if I took all the wires and somehow hooked it up to a Bluetooth transmitter, and the transmitter is connecting to my SMH10? I wonder if that would work. So what I did was I bought all the parts as if I was going to do a wire system on my Harley that hooks up to the back of my boombox infotainment system. And then I bought a Sena DIN pin, 7-pin connector that has a 3.5 millimeter jack. And I hooked that up, and that goes to a Bluetooth communicator that I simply bought at Amazon. It was a Inigo BT9. It supports A2DP profile, so it streams music. And so I really didn't know that it was going to work. It was really pure luck. And it was pure luck that I got a Bluetooth communicator that did stereo output sound. because I looked into the review. A lot of people used it for their home entertainment system, and they can walk around in their house with their headphones on and so on and so forth. I went ahead, looked at the review on Amazon, and, just went for it. So, long and short, I put all the wires together. I turned on my Sena SMH10. I turned on my Bluetooth communicator, the Inigo BT9, and voila, it hooked up. It worked. And I started hearing the radio sound out of my boombox infotainment system. But what I didn't know, and I found out later, was that this is a transmitter. It's transmitting, pushing out audio sound. So when I wanted to talk to the boombox entertainment system, like a GPS and prompting and trying to do any of that two-way communication, that doesn't work, because it's not going to receive whatever my Sena is pushing out, because I have a transmitting Bluetooth transmitter. It transmits out, not accepting my voice in, and the profile doesn't do it either. So, that's really where I stopped. And I was glad that I have that set up, because I was, the only thing, I'm a simple guy. I just want to listen to my AM talk radio. I want to listen to my podcasts, and that's really about it. I wasn't going to, do any GPS mapping or anything like that. And really just riding around locally, I don't need to have that GPS navigation. And so, that's me, and that's what I do. It's really simple, and and worked out for me, and a little bit of luck and a little bit of reverse engineering and looking up really at the Sena SMH10 manual and how it would work, and kind of work backwards like that.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. I mean, everybody has, I've got the ultra limited. I've never used the CB. I tried using the intercom one time just to see how it worked, and never used it again. And so I basically just used mine, and I looked at Bluetooth as well. I just couldn't absorb buying another Sena and then buying a communicator. It was kind of cool. Ryan showed me the one that you got, and that was a fantastic deal, because if you go with like Sierra Electronics or Sena's, I mean, you're talking some big money, $200-300 just to have the transmitter. And those still don't allow you to use the voice recognition system. To my knowledge, there's only one company, and it's that German model that was being sold by one company in the US. And if I'm incorrect, people feel free to comment. I did very little research on it, maybe only a couple hours, because we got an email on it. But this German company, theirs will do complete, but not even including the Sena, just their Bluetooth system that you hit once for stereo, you hit the button twice and you get mono, but you do get to talk to your GPS and tune in, is damn near $500. Yep. And now you've got another $150 to $300 for the Bluetooth module on your helmet. That's a lot of money to save a wire. For me, I'm a simple guy too, knowing that all I'm going to do is listen to some music, and occasionally on these long rides, it's kind of nice to be able, if somebody calls me, I can at least answer it. Or I really like the voice recognition. It's not for everybody, but I used that voice recognition several times when I was coming back from Vegas, just to say, tune to or GPS coordinates. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And I also have to comment that, by simply having different Bluetooth systems connecting to each other, you're losing the sound quality. So, I am compromising on sound quality on this kind of setup. But again, I'm listening to AM radio, talk radio. To me, it really doesn't matter. But, when I was going for my ride to Sturgis, it wasn't as good. And the experience wasn't as good, the rock into Van Halen with, not really equalized music or audio sound. And so, this is totally, like I said, like Ryan said, this is a hack. This is a workaround. It's not the best solution, but if it works for any of you guys out there, that's great. It's simple. I can tell you that I spent between the two wires that I got and the Bluetooth transmitter, I spent like $70, $80. That was it. And it was easy. I knew how to take off the fairing from watching all the law-abiding biker videos, and I knew where to go to unplug those wires and plug them in. So, it was, for me, under $100 was a good investment for AM talk radio.
Yeah, no, totally agree, Darwin. It is, and if you guys we're going to go over a lot of this tonight. We are going over it. All this and all the parts that Dar has shared with me, I have links, and I'll have links in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever the episode number is, plus the video that I already did for it. There'll be a link to that. So if it is something you're interested in, you don't have to worry about what to use. So what Dar did is, he obviously has his phone. Dar, do you have a biker gripper yet?
I do.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure, because if not, I'll send you one. All right. I'll send you something anyways for being on here. I'll figure it out. You're getting something, but I want to make sure.
Maybe we should, when we have the biker booms come out, maybe we should let's try one of our. It's a wired set, but it's cool because it's behind the neck, over the ears.
He's got a full face though, Dar, like me.
Oh yeah, but this is for either. Yeah, this is for half helmets.
We'll send you one, brother, on us.
It's even got a volume like on the line, so you don't even have to use the toggle or the radio dial on the older bikes to adjust the volume. You can just literally, just like a cell phone, go down and adjust the volume right in front of you, right on your chest. So give it a shot. So we are. I'm glad you brought that up, BD. We are at the end of the episode going to talk about our headset that we right now are bringing to our store. And we're going to send Dar one. It's a wired set, but it's fully functional. But that's good, and keep that. Don't let me forget, Big Daddy, on that. So we'll send you one of those, Dars. Just play with it, test it, see what you think. So what Dar's doing is he's got his phone up on his biker gripper. Of course, we sell the biker grippers right in our Law Abiding Biker store, lawabidingbiker.com/store. It's a cell phone motorcycle mount, and then he's going Bluetooth from his phone, and stop me anytime, Dar, but I'm just kind of breaking this down for the listening audience. He's going from his phone and he's pumping his music on his phone via Bluetooth to his boombox infotainment system. Then what he's done is he's coming out of his boombox with a wire, and I'll give you guys the part number here in a minute. It's a Harley aftermarket, because he's got to get basically a 7-pin connection. He's got to come out of the back of the boombox, which you can. And the 7-pin is just a communications port. It comes stock on Ultras and things like that. Ultra Limiteds, classics like BD's bike. The Street Glides, Road Glides don't come with it, but they're ready for it. And you buy this aftermarket kit for $70, and you put that on. And then he can plug into that 7-pin, like a communications port, and he can come out of that into a 3.5 millimeter, which is a regular headphone jack. Then a Bluetooth transmitter, and then that Bluetooth transmitter, is he syncs it with his wireless headset. And so he's going into the phone, into the boombox, out of the boombox wirelessly to his headset, so that he can hear the music coming out of his boombox. Did I say that okay, Dar?
Yep, that is exactly how I do it. And because the Sena can accept more than one Bluetooth profile, my phone is also Bluetooth connected to the Sena headset. And so when I take my phone calls, I'm pressing the toggle on the Sena unit to answer the phone call. Because if I press the answer on the boombox screen, the mic portion is not going to come out, because I'm transmitting sound only, not receiving sound. So there's no mic for that. You cannot press answer the phone on your infotainment system. You have to do it on your Bluetooth, on your Sena. And so in that case, like I said, it's a workaround for the music For the talk radio that I listen to, it's audio only.
That's great. Good follow up there, Dar. And so that's all he's doing, and it's a great workaround, and it does work. And so when he gets a phone call, he's just skipping the boom box, is what he's saying altogether, and he's taking the phone call directly from his phone to his Sena headset. Now, I'll tell you guys real quick, I do something similar. It's almost similar besides the complete workaround. So I have a Schuber C3 helmet, and I have the SRC Cardo system, which is actually a neck roll that goes under the helmet. Of course, I have videos of all this over on lawabidingbiker.com, free videos, and I show you how to use that. But it's actually just, it integrates into the helmet. It has a boom mic and all that. And so the alternative to that, obviously, is the way I do it is if I have my full face on, I just skip my boom box altogether. Unless I'm in town, I might flip my shield up and run my boom box, the speakers and everything. If I'm on long trips like to Sturgis, I'm just going direct from my phone to my Cardo wireless system and speakers in my helmet. So honestly, I don't know, Dar, on that Cardo, because I've never tested it, if I could do that Bluetooth transmitter and do the same thing with a Cardo. I'm not sure of their capability.
I think you have to look into the manual, to see what kind of profile, like you mentioned, that your Cardo can accept. And that's how I found out that, the Sena can accept multiple profiles, the A2DP as well as the HFP, profile. So, you have to look into the manual to see if that works or not.
Yeah, good. And so that's basically, the A2 and all that is basically, that's allowing you to do the two things at the same time, basically grab your phone and still be pumping from the boombox to your headset. So that's something good to look at if you guys are, good information, Dar, if you guys are looking for, a Bluetooth headset that's possible. The part number that you're going to need for 14 and on, if you're going to come out and you want to, of course, it'll all be in the show notes, but I just ordered one. And it is Harley Davidson Boom Audio, Music, and Communications Kit, part number 692008665, $69.95. I ordered it. There'll be an affiliate link in the show notes. That's right, no additional cost to you if you click that link, but we do get a small kickback if you purchase it. Basically, what that does is comes out of the back of your boombox. If you watch my video, I actually have video cutaways of Dar, because he was nice enough to video his setup, and I used his video footage. He sent it to me, and I incorporated it into mine. And there's cutaways of his bike and how he has that set up. But you just plug it into the back of it's an OEM plug, basically, and you plug it in, and then you can, technically, you're supposed to bring the 7-pin. And I talked to Rick about this today. You're supposed to bring the 7-pin up, and it connects to the right up at the front of your tank, I should say, right where you sit, between the seat and the tank right there. Dar just put his, where did you end up putting yours? Why don't you tell him?
What I did was I just simply put some zip ties, and I tied it behind my fairing, right behind the boombox. So, if you open up the front fairing and you install, the wire, I simply looped it, and I put a couple of zip ties together, make sure that it wasn't, going everywhere. And because when I did it, I also did the antenna as well, the fairing antenna. So I did the whole thing together. Everything's nicely wrapped up. And, thanks to watching the videos, know exactly, where the screws go and where the fittings would give me some room. And so all I did was just, put it back behind the fairing, and the wire comes out of the little compartment where you can store small items like a cell phone or something like that. And I simply made the hole a little bit bigger. I drilled into it as plastic, and I was able to squeeze the 7-pin wire through, and my Bluetooth communicator is stored in that compartment.
That's a great deal, especially for your setup, because then it's kind of invisible. All you need is that 3.5 coming out. So that's actually a very good solution. I'm on our blog right now and the video that I made, guys. And it's lawabidingbiker.com/Harley-boom-box-headset-hack. But again, you can search for that. But I've got all the equipment in here, and I think Dar mentioned it, but it is a BTR9 Indigo wireless. It's on Amazon, and I've got a link in the show notes for you guys. It gives us some kickback if you do purchase. It's $24.95, which is super cheap for what you're accomplishing. You know?
Yeah, it's a great deal. Dar definitely did a lot of research for the rest of you bikeaholics, that if you are looking at going that route, and if that's all you're caring about is the music, that's fine. We were just getting inundated with emails of people saying, well, why can't I do this Bluetooth? Why can't I do that? And just because I'll be honest with you guys, just because we're coming out with a wired set, I mean, we're not trying to push you away. That's why we brought Dar on here, so he can explain to you what he did. If that's what you're looking for and you don't want the wire and you want the Bluetooth, just understand it's, we still have people, even today, I was reviewing an email of somebody saying, hey, you guys are wrong, man. I connected my Sena right to my boom audio. And I'm like, that's not possible. Yes, it is. It's not, because the technician just told me it's not possible. So understand, when people tell you this, we want you guys to fully understand. When people tell you this, they're doing the workaround. We want you guys to have the straight facts.
And those people aren't necessarily saying that, like BD Kane says. They aren't saying that because they're trying to be argumentative. They don't. Like one guy emailed and said, well, he borrowed a bike and it worked fine. And we asked him we always ask a few questions, because hey, if somebody can do it, just like Dar, if somebody could, and it could allow voice back into the boombox, well, that's some serious stuff, because Harman Kardon doesn't even know that. And I want to know, because I want to share it. And so we know what questions to ask. And as soon as you ask a question, they realize really quick that it's a workaround. And
I'm not saying that to be negative at all.
No, I know you are.
I'm just saying that, some guy gets on and goes, my buddy says he's got wireless and he can talk and he can use the voice recognition. Right now, to the best of our knowledge, other than that German company.
And that's not even confirmed, dude. And I've had other emails from guys saying they tried that and it didn't work. So if that worked, that company would be marketing the shit out of that thing, dude, because that is a gold mine. So I have read very, very mixed, and I've got.
Well, I told you guys up front, I've done 2 hours of research on it and their website, and so if somebody's got more information, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email. I'd love to have more information on it. But right now, I can tell you, I have tested the Harley system, and I've tested our system, and I have full function capability, whether I tell the GPS to do something. So I'm sticking with wired until Harley fixes this problem in the first place. And I think, Ryan, you're right on. I don't think they're going to fix it, because they would have to totally remap what type of Bluetooth profiles they're going to allow in it.
Yeah, I just, and again, like Dar said, it's not for everybody. It's for some people. We're not talking bad about it at all. I think it's awesome. That's not the point of this. The point was to share the information with the motorcycle community. I think it's brilliant what he figured it out. I'm like, he put some time into it. At the end of the day, everybody has to choose what their needs are, and of course the wired solution is at this juncture in the game is the only way you're going to get 100% integration. That's the way Harley Davidson. Believe me, if a Bluetooth headset worked, Harley Davidson would be the first one to come out with one and then mark it up 500% and stick it to you. So,
they would have a patent on it, and nobody could do it. Just like our headset, he had the original patent on this headset, and as soon as this patent, not patent expired, but as soon as somebody else could start making them, Harley Davidson came out with a model. So, they're going to definitely, if they want a Bluetooth module, Harley will come out with it. They will make it happen. I just don't think that that's a priority for them. And hey, Dar, before we go to our mid break stuff, you're going to remind us. You got to tell us about that new law in California where they're not even allowing wired headsets on motorcycles anymore. because I tried to look it up a little bit, but it talked a lot about motor vehicles rather than just bikes. And maybe some of our C4 IOMC, I know you're from Cali. Maybe you can talk in the chat room and tell us more about that.
Yeah, let's take a, I do want to thank real quick, and then that's a good question, Rick, definitely. Oh yeah, Bikeaholics, that is right. This episode brought to you by our friends over at Biker Planet. They obviously care about the biker community by supporting this very show. So let's show them some love, huh, guys? Biker Planet, it's more than just the largest niche biker dating site. It's an entire social community of bikers, even if you're not interested in dating. Looking for a date or relationship? Well, then find a dating relationship with someone that loves motorcycles and the lifestyle just like you. Not looking for a date? No problemo, Bikeaholics. That's right. Then just simply head over there and connect with other bikers around the world. Plan rides, meetups, or just socialize. Heck, the website is super clean. I've been on it, guys, and it's user-friendly. Chat, search, see who's online, browse photos, check your own private mailbox. No commitment. It's free, of course. Check it out, guys. Use our special custom link, though, so you can get all the perks and a lifetime discount of 50% should you choose to become a full member. lawabidingbiker.com/Biker Planet. Guys, that is the link to use. There you go. We got to thank some patrons later, too, and stuff. All right. Do you remember the question there, Dar?
Yes. So what B.D. Kane was talking about is in California, if you're in California, it's the California Vehicle Code 27400. And I don't have the exact language up, but basically, if you're riding a bicycle, like a regular bicycle, mountain bike or road bike, or if you're driving a car, you cannot be riding with a headphone or headset or earbuds in your ears anymore. It's a brand new law in 2016. I'm not sure what the other states have. I just know that, when my buddies and I go ride our road bikes, on the streets, we have to be careful because, if the music's too loud, you can't hear the traffic. It is a problem. It is a safety issue. But then I'm really not sure how it would or may not apply to motorcycling. That's something that, it remains to be seen. But for sure, you cannot be riding with your Beats or your Bose headphone set driving a vehicle, or if, you're riding a bicycle or a mountain bike.
Yeah, in Washington State, that's been the law here for quite a while as far as driving a vehicle. So we're familiar with that aspect of it. I got an email last week saying that when we were talking about the Biker Boom headset, a guy from Germany was telling me that over there it's illegal to have any kind of headset or wires at all going to your bike. I didn't know that. So if
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I didn't know. And
Dar emailed me today about that. And so, that let's brief on it. It could be a whole nother topic, which is good. In Washington State, it's been that way for a long time, but I guess I don't want to confuse, you have to look up the definition of earbuds. So in a car, it's been that way for a long time in Washington. You can't have this on. You can't have these on because it blocks out all noise, including emergency vehicles. You can't have earbuds in, 2 earbuds. You can have 1 because you can talk on your phone, and it's a no texting, no cell phone state. So that allows you to go ahead and do that. Helmets are completely different because I think, obviously if you had the earbuds in there in your helmet, I've done it. I'll tell you. The officers can't, they're not really enforcing that because it's really hard to tell, number one. So the earbuds is a different thing, but in a helmet, remember, the speakers are in the helmet. There's still free space between your head and the helmet, which allows you all know that wear a full face helmet, you still hear noise. So it doesn't apply to that situation. I think it would probably still apply if somebody wanted to push the issue to the actual like Apple earbuds in both ears, but a helmet and speakers built into a helmet, it's completely exempt from that particular thing. So I don't know about California, Dar, but I'm guessing they might have accepted, because and even if they did that law, it would be kind of a dumb law, because how can an officer tell what speakers you have in a helmet. I mean, nor would they care. They're like a little bit busier than caring what kind of speaker setup you have in your helmet.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Ryan. I think that, really the intent was to keep bicyclists and mountain bikers safe, so that when they're riding on the road, California, you got many busy streets. A lot of people on the coast, they drive their cars crazy, really fast, and not paying attention to the road when you're riding a bicycle or a mountain bike can be hazardous. And definitely, obviously, with the new generation, everyone has a nice $300 headphone set. They don't want kids to be on their learner's permit to be driving a car with the headphones on it. And I think it's not going to be an issue with helmets and motorcycling, and because the intent was really to look after the bicyclists and the motor vehicle, the car, the cagers.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the number one. I mean, I see a lot of guys with Harleys, the big baggers and stuff that have the wired sets, but I see a lot more gold wingers and stuff like that, and that's a big market in California. So I'm sure that it probably wouldn't be along the lines of the motorcycle headsets. Like the set that we're coming out with is on top of the ear, but you can still hear if a car's honking at you or something like that. And so I'm thinking that's pretty well that's pretty well going to be safe. But I didn't find any language in the law that I read that spoke about motorcycle headsets. So
yeah, good call. I'm dicking around on here on Blab, and I'm telling them to make sure I have more claps than you because it's a competition who buys beer.
Yeah,
but now, dude,
if Law Dog was here, he would call you a girl, or he'd call you something worse. Just like last night. You guys don't understand. We have so much fun conversations, and I won't get into all of our conversations, but last night I was talking about shipping one of these headsets to Ryan and to Oscar to test on his 2013, because when we come out with the headsets, we're also going to come out with an instructional video about how to set it up on your 13 and older and your 14 and newer, so that when you get it, you actually know how to go into your menu and switch it to the headsets, because we want you guys to know that. It does no good just to sell you a headset and then you're unsatisfied with, how do I set this up? So we're going to do that. And Law Dog's like, you guys are starting to look like you have full face helmets. It's just that you guys have electronics all over your face. So it's kind of funny.
It is. Oh yeah. He always busts my balls about the full face helmet. Real quick, I want to thank just a couple patrons. Oh yeah, patrons, guys, just like Dar Chang on Blab right here. We love mingling, guys. We've got to know so many people in that private Facebook group. I haven't met him in person, but I guarantee when I do, it will happen. It's like I already know him. And Max Butcher of Nashville, Indiana, thank you, brother. He became a patron. Matthew Head of Gold Coast, Australia. Shout out Australia. Mm-hmm. Rick Kemner of Troy, New York. That's right. New York. Love it. Upgraded his patron level from to upped his pledge per piece of content, guys. There are different levels over there, and you can pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you. That's right. You can set a monthly cap, guys, and there are rewards. And Dar Chang can tell you, obviously, he's in the private Facebook group. You can pledge a certain amount and get in that, and then there's T-shirts, and then all of our top level, you can get free videos. But it's all over at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Make sure you head over there, and you can get all the details and get more involved in the community. It's growing fast. Dar knows the Facebook group is blowing up. Community, bikers helping bikers, guys. And I get in there and it just makes me glow, because I never knew when I started it that it would be what it is. It's unbelievable. It makes me smile every time I get in there and I see everybody helping each other. And I comment as much as I can, but I can back off some stuff because the guys really are helping. And there's so many guys in there that know way more than me. Yeah, I got the podcast and do the videos, and I'm always learning, but I'll be the first to tell you that there's guys in there way smarter than me, and Dar's one of them. He knows a lot of stuff. We all have our niches, I guess. And so when I can lean on guys like Dar in the community, and then on top of it, they come on here and they're spending their night on Blab here. So really, really awesome stuff.
I love that this group is starting to take over. It's no longer
it's a revolution,
law-abiding biker.
Revolution.
Yeah, it's no longer a law-abiding biker private group. I mean, even though that's what it's called, it's not just the 8 of us that go on there that are now involved in this on the recording side. These guys are taking it over. And just last week, I mean, we had like a whole revolution of guys upping their donations and stuff. And I mean, you don't understand how flattering that is. I mean, for me, a lot of you guys, we each have our niche in here. I mean, Ryan runs the company, obviously, but you got everybody that's on the podcast has their niche. And then when it comes to the company, they're involved in the mechanics, the recording, the editing. I'm getting ready to take over the store for Ryan just because he needs more time with the podcast and the editing and stuff. So you guys doing that makes all this happen. I mean, him having that good studio, us being able to buy parts and make projects so that you guys can then use them. Without you, we wouldn't be anywhere. So thanks from the bottom of my heart too.
And I can tell you, with the very short time that I had with you guys and learning how to work on my bike, and like I said before, I've never owned a Harley before. I'm pretty good with mechanics. I work on my own cars, and I can tell you it's invaluable to have the right kind of information, the correct information, and having the video there. I've changed the oil on my bike several times now, and I keep on forgetting, is it 28 ounces or is it 38 ounces? What is it? And I have to go back to the video because, it's just something that I want to be sure of. I don't want to mess it up. I know I can do it. I just need a little help. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Love hearing it. Definitely a community. It is what we call the biker revolution, guys. That is for sure. So, hey, Dar, just let you know, you got to work or whatever in the morning. You can, we want to keep you on. Of course, I want you to be here, but don't feel, because we're going to go a little longer than I anticipated. So if you have to bag out, it's okay. Don't feel like
I'm not working tomorrow. So
okay.
We can
awesome.
go.
Okay.
We can go as long as you want, boss.
Sweet, man. I love it. I
might have to bag out then because I got a 5 a.m. Call for work. So
okay.
I don't know how all night. I'll let you guys go all night.
Yeah, we're not going to go all night, but we're just going to go longer than anticipated. But the community said we don't care how long the episodes go, because Dar knows back when we first started, I really tried to keep it an hour, and then people were like, "You can go longer. We don't care. We'll stop halfway and then we'll pick it up the next day." So I don't worry as much. And this is just great information. And there's an open seat, guys. If anybody watching live in the Blabosphere out there, we do have an open seat. We're going to continue on and we will wrap it up here. But we'll definitely open up a seat. If you have any questions or you want to say hi, we'll allow a couple, people in that want to do that. So you just got to go to the open seat. So, hey, Dar, since I have you on here, man. So you've got the 14, right? The street glide.
Yes.
Yeah. And so are you doing anything to it? Did you do exhaust or intake or anything like that yet? Or are you waiting, or are you going to leave it?
Yeah. So, I got a K&N filter, but it's just a filter. I kept the stock 103 box that came with it because I was listening to your podcast, and I don't remember whether it was Oscar or Chewy, one of them were saying, or maybe it was you saying, the box design was great. Why fix something that's not broken? And so, I just got a filter from K&N. My setup is I have Reinhardt exhaust. It's a 4-inch exhaust, just a slip-on. I'm not doing any headers, primarily because I'm concerned about fuel efficiency and how much gas I'm going to be spending going on trips just within the local area. And I have my setup is using the DynoJet Power Commander 5 with a map, and I changed a few, like I changed the headlights to truck light, which is the Karayakin headlights, and I changed my grips to Karayakin ISO grips that I actually saw at Sturgis. And, I was at the Karayakin, the booth, and I was sitting on the street glide, and oh man, these grips feels really good, and had the ISO Boss, idle throttle ISO Boss on there. So, that's my basic setup. I haven't got any fancy seats, no heated grips, but I was actually just talking to somebody 2 days ago who was checking out my bike at work, and I was chatting it up, and he paid a lot of money to get the heated grips for himself. And I said, have you looked into YouTubes and look into any type of videos? And he mentioned Law Abiding Biker. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to do it, but I was afraid. And I said, the videos are really clear. You're going to be able to do it on your own and whenever you want to do it. So, and that's how I hooked up with some guy just basically off the street who's a neighboring business that works in a neighboring business. So, there's a lot of people in Southern California that's listening to you guys and listening to the podcast, and I hope that they can get involved and support the group.
Hey, tell that story about the T-shirt. You got to tell all of our followers, because you put that on Facebook, but some people are newer followers I know that are in our chat room right now. You got to tell about that one.
Sure. So I had a dinner catching up with a friend who works at the fire department. I used to work for a fire department, so we're just chatting it up at dinner time, and I was wearing the Law Abiding Biker Media T-shirt. And towards the end of the dinner, we were outside basically saying goodbye. I shook hands, and we were starting to part our ways. And my friend, he is approximately 5'8", 5'9", approximately 170 or so, white, male, clean cut, kind of look like someone we know here in the group.
Oh, Ryan's not no 5'8". Ryan's not no 5'8". Come on now.
On a good day, I am 5'8". Damn it.
And so these two guys came up to my friend and said, "Ryan Urlacher, you look just like someone on the internet." And I was like, I was already walking away, and I heard this, and I started to chuckle because I knew exactly who they were referring to, and my buddy had no idea, and I'm sure he was just like, "Oh, no, you got the wrong guy," or whatever. But I'm pretty sure because they saw my T-shirt and they saw who I was talking to, someone who looked like Ryan, they decided to go up to Ryan, and get their, time with Ryan. And so it was pretty funny. And later on, I called my friend up. I asked him, what happened. And he's like, "Oh, no, it's just the wrong guy and whatever." And I said, "Well, I actually, listened to this podcast and I know exactly who they were referring to."
That's awesome, man. And Dar sent me that story, and then I can't remember if he posted in the private Patron only Facebook or is it email? I got it here. Email sent me, and I was like, "That's really cool, though." And the funny thing is, I actually wished I would have been there because I would like, I love meeting the bikers and stuff, and I wish I could get down there more. We're definitely going to ride for sure, Darwin.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We will definitely do. Down. Yeah, we will. Gosh, and even maybe this year where we got a Colorado ride that we're going to do, but we also, Vance and Hines has been a big supporter of us since we started, and we want to go down there. I've got to connect down there, and we want to tour their factory. They've got a couple different, and so that would put us in California anyways, but definitely I got your your information. So, Rick, you look like you're ready to just say something.
No, I was just reflecting on what he was talking about and all the stuff that he's done to his bike. And that's the beauty of Harley Davidson. I think that's why I've never gone away from him, because there's just so much stuff you can do, whether it's Kuriokin grips or, Vance and Hines slip-on mufflers. You can do something that simple, or you can go full on out. And we're going to have pretty soon for Project Cholo, followers that in the private group know about it, but it's a bike. I'm a Road King that I'm choloing out. I'm kind of doing that LA style to it. And, it's kind of cool. We're going with a whole new style of EFI module on it, something that we've never done before, because it's older. It's a 2001, so it won't take the FP3, or else I'd be using the FP3.
Vance and Hines Fuel Pack 3,
yeah. Which I do have on my 14, and it's the best product that I've found. But we've got the Power Vision videos too. But it's just cool that with the Harley Davidsons you can do that. I mean, we're going to come out with that new EFI on that 2001. That'll be a cool video to have out for some people with older bikes. And listening to him talk, it reminds me of my past 13 Harleys or so that I've owned and what I've done. And, some people are scared even of putting grips on. And so we turn around and give a video. I mean, you'd be amazed on an older Harley with the throttle and the idle cables. People they'll go pay a dealer $50 to put on a set of grips because they're scared and they don't know how to. And every once in a while, we'll see a video comment like, "Hey, thanks for having this video. I just saved myself $50 putting, new grips, new Kuriokin ISO grips, or a throttle boss, or whatever they're doing." So it's very cool to hear that, and it's pretty cool that there's so many options out there for different people, different strokes for different folks, as they say.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And if there's one thing, if you guys can't support us, financially right now, everybody's in a different, I see the comments. If everybody's in a, different financial situation, and we get that, we're really sensitive to that. And we don't take it lightly when we get donations and stuff like that and patron support. But at least head over and just subscribe to that YouTube channel, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/YouTube. You just go to that. It really helps us. And we won't get deep into it, but we're obviously at this point, at this juncture, we're getting some serious looks by some big motorcycle companies knocking on our door because they want to be on the podcast. They want sponsorships and things like that. And we're going to be real careful about that. That's a whole nother episode. Trust me, we'll never sell out. It's got to be something that fits for you guys and something we believe in. And so we've turned away a lot too, just because we don't believe in their products or their company or the way they do business. So don't fear. We're going to be really cautious. We're never going to lose track of what we're doing here. But we also obviously need to keep giving you guys what we give you. We need to look at finances and things like that. And the patrons are really still at this point moving us forward and all that. So Rick, do you want to talk real quick about since we're talking about headsets before we close it out, do you want to announce, we've been working hard and I've been coding the back of the store and doing some stuff, trying to get it going. And we been on this venture for over a year because Dar, obviously, we realized after much testing and Dar's information that there wasn't the headset or a headset profile in the boombox. So the wired solution is the way, but Harley charges $120 for their wired half helmet solution. And Rick really took this project on. I give him 100% credit. He has taken over the store within the next month completely. I'll kind of wipe my hands clean of that part of it. I guess I won't completely wipe my hands clean, but he's going to handle most of it. But he really took this project on and wanted to find a solution that was better than the Harley wired headset and half the price. And that was quite an undertaking because he's been in contact with people all over the world trying to figure out a manufacturer that would do this and that could keep the cost down. So why don't you just take it from there and then we'll run the episode out here.
Well, it started with probably about 25 emails over the last 6 months or so that Ryan's had me kind of moderating emails. And people were saying, "Hey, I'm reading such bad reviews about the headset on, harleydavidson.com, about the half helmet. What do you think? And well, I've never used it. I do have the full face model that comes with the Ultra Limited, and that's what's on my full face helmet for the winter. My thought is that if I have the shield down because it's cold, it's nice to have the speakers in there. And but to buy that system, it came free with the Ultra Limited, but to buy that, it's a very expensive system, $200 or so. And so I told Ryan, you know what? These people are asking for this. Maybe we should look into this. And so we got lucky, and I looked at some manufacturers, some U.S. manufacturer guys that were basically just taking like video game headsets and then, tying in a 7-pin, and didn't look very good, looked kind of cheesy. And we're not going to push out a piece of crap product. I'll be honest with you. We just don't. And because of our market on the boom audio video, and me kind of putting feelers out on social media and some of our blog stuff, we had a guy come to us and he says, hey, I have the original patent that Harley, well, he says Harley stole from him, but obviously he didn't. But he had the original patent for a wraparound headset, and he wanted to partner with us. And so I said, you send me a product, and if I like it, I'll call you back. I mean, for lack of a better term, I mean, I was a little bit more nicer than that, but that's basically what we are. When companies want to send us stuff, okay, send it to us. We'll test it. And sent me a headset, and I was pretty impressed with it. It was the same as, it was a good quality. The speakers were good. Calling Ryan at doing 80 down the interstate, he could hear me loud and clear. Really dug it. So we turned around and we looked at other options overseas, and Lurch and Scrappy and I just decided, if we're going to do this, we want this to be made in America. Because I mean, we're an American company, American people. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know we got Canadian and Australian people that are patrons that are supporting us, but our thought was, why go overseas and have them produce a product that we can't really control and we can't see, versus this guy's in the US, he'll send us test products, he'll if we're unhappy, he'll take care of us. And that's the impression we were getting. So that's what we did. So we think we've got a very good high quality product. People who are interested in a wired headset are gonna like it. The good thing is we're gonna sell it for $69.95. The Harley set is $119.99 or $95. So we're not making a bunch of money on this. We want to get it out there. We want people to have the option. You get this, even if you use it at that price, you can get it. And if you only use it 2-3 times a year, you don't feel guilty about it. It's $70, right? I don't know. What do you think, Dar? I mean, you're talking $70, and if you use it once or twice a year, it's worth it, versus you're not spending $120. And little things that we requested, we wanted a heavy duty wire sheath, so that instead of it just being the bare, just regular wires like you'd see on a set of headphones like this, it's actually got a nice nylon sheath over it. Yep. It's actually got a volume control on it, on the deal, so you don't have to even hit the toggle. If you want to turn it down, you got your cruise control on, you can just hit the little dial and turn it down. And then the 7-pin is a really good heavy duty. So we think it's going to be good. And we do have it's an extended boom mic too. If you've ever played around with the Harley units, I'm not talking any smack at all, because I use one in my full face, but their boom mics are very short. This system, we specifically wanted an extended boom mic that actually reaches over further. So they had to make those adjustments for us. So hopefully you guys will like it and give it a shot. For $69.95. I mean, like I said, if you get it and you use it a couple times a year when you're out on a long ride, and I realize that's when people use the headsets, really. I mean, you're not going to use it to drive to work. So tell me what you think, Dar. I mean, I know you're using the wireless, but I mean, you've heard about our product. We're going to send you one, and we want to hear your feedback. But do you think there's we're hoping there's a market for this, because you're very technologically advanced in this stuff. You've been experimenting. What do you think?
I think for anybody who's riding a half helmet already, for that kind of price, you can't pass up on it. First of all, I mean, it's something that, you can, anyone that has already purchased a half helmet has the money to purchase this boom headset. But more importantly, I think you hit it on the head, nail on the head, that you have local control. Having the manufacturer, you have that direct connection to control the quality. I don't want to make a long story out of it, but I have friends that travel to out of the country to do computer work, and I can tell you that the products that are made outside of the United States, the mapping on the programming and on the electronics are just not as good, because their goal is to make as many as possible. And so they will do it the cheapest way, things that would break down, and it's just not worth it. And to have a company that's local, that you can connect with, to have that kind of control, it really helps to assure the quality is there.
Yeah, this is for those that are live viewers, and obviously by the time this podcast comes out, we'll probably have it. But to give you an idea, we actually in the industry, we call it white labeling. If I'm wrong, Ryan, correct me.
No, that's what it's called, white label. If
you guys can see this, that's what it's gonna look. That's what our label on it's gonna look like.
It's called the Biker Boom. We haven't mentioned the name of it yet. We are working on that patent. It's the Biker Boom headset, is what it is.
And so last night, because I knew I was going to show this today, I put it out the photograph strictly to all the Patron members in the private website. So that's what we're going for. We realize that not everybody's going to want a headset. Not everybody wants to listen to music or have the ability to do the voice recognition or having somebody call them. But we think at that price, we can get some people interested. They buy one, and maybe they use it on that one or two big long rides a year, and they can use to have the GPS. See, we're thinking beyond music here. I mean, that's what most people are going to use it for. We're thinking like when you're sitting there driving through California, or you're driving through areas where you're unfamiliar with. I say California because it is congested and stuff, or major metropolitan areas. With this headset, you can hear all the prompts from the GPS. You can actually use your voice recognition in 14 and newers and say, find me the nearest gas station. And boom, you're going to be able to do that with this headset. So we're hoping this becomes maybe a safe way for people to use the technology that they have, and especially on the touring. We realize this is more of a touring headset. For me, I ride 150 miles to go see my brothers in the Sworn Few anyway. So, I'll probably, and I don't wear a half helmet, so I'm probably not going to wear it for that. But I do see a complete piece for it. I'm excited about it. I'm probably going to buy a half helmet just because I want to be able to use the headset for the long distance, because I'm not going to put a headset on my nice 3/4 helmets that I have. And I won't say the manufacturers, even though I'd love to give them some love, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's an open seat, guys. We're going to wind it down here. But there is an open seat if somebody wants to jump in on the Blabosphere and say hi or ask any questions. We got just a little time, but we're going to wind it down. So it is called the Biker Boom. It's the Biker Boom headset. It's B.D. Kane's little child that he's reared and breastfed along the way. And he's coddling it, but he's done a great job on this project. All jokes aside, he's worked really, really hard. And so hopefully we'll get it in your hands. Dar's getting one, and have fun with it, bro. Let us know.
Thank you.
Seriously, if there's any problems with it or anything, we need to know, because you're kind of going to be one of the beta guys. Little did you know.
Sounds good.
All right. That's
Dar, you'll have to send me, just private message me, either on the Facebook or, send an email to the, Rick at lawabidingbiker.com, your address, and I'll get a set sent out to you.
Okay. Sounds good.
good. Awesome stuff. All right. Nobody's going to grab a seat. Dar, anything else, buddy, that you want to talk about before we wind it down, man? Anything you want to say to the biker community that, that you're been a part of and help grow?
Well, I just want to plug the Patron Facebook. I mean, I remember one of the episodes we were talking about how this is so different from the forum, from the all the blogs out there, because you get to know who these people are, and once you're set up on Facebook, unless you cancel the account, you're there. And so, and yeah, we have sometimes, agree to disagree on certain points, but at the end of the day, our love for motorcycle, for me, it started at 10 years old. The love for motorcycle, and I respect a lot of the people on the forum, on the Facebook page, because they've been doing this a lot longer than I have, and certainly have a lot of experience. And I just love it. And I really encourage anybody who hasn't done it, try it out, and it's invaluable.
Man, that is just powerful stuff, Dar. Thanks, man. Really, from the bottom of my heart, that's just awesome. And you're obviously, you've been on, and we'll be doing more blabs. Geez, you did awesome, man. It's like you're a professional at this, like you've done it before. Definitely you're smoother than me the first time, but you're always welcome to grab a seat in the blab. And if you ever, we have Matt Pass, we just had Greg Gaxiola, we have you on now. You see all those guys in the Facebook group. If you guys ever have subjects, or you think that you think it would make a good blab like this, well, the email and all that, how to get a hold of me and whatnot. Let us know, and we'll try to work it into the schedule, because I think these are great. And I did have the open seat. I get it. Some people aren't comfortable. Last time we did this, a blab, Rick, remember we had Patron jump on? That was really cool, huh?
Yeah, we had Greg. Or was it Greg?
It wasn't Greg, no.
No.
It's coming out in a upcoming episode. Well, we batch.
Yeah, I'm getting all my episodes. I've done like 3 episodes in a row, and I'm getting all of our guests confused. You guys don't realize that we record these in bunches, and then you guys hear them, and it sounds like, oh yeah, and then I'm listening. Hey, that was like 3 weeks ago, man.
Oh, at least we're batch processing out. Yeah, a month now. We have to get this done. And Lurch is in the comments. Lurch right now is in the house. He hasn't grabbed a seat. But he just got signed up for Blab. He's the producer now. He does all my audio and editing and the podcast side of production things. So, Lurch, welcome.
Don't forget. You talking about Lurch made me think about. Don't forget that we need to plug our 100th anniversary is going to be coming up. And before we log out of here, hey guys, check out Biker Planet for us. They are being very good to us, and it's more than a dating site. Like Ryan said, it's a place. If you're from a big city and you're just looking for people to ride with and stuff, just check them out.
Yeah, lawabidingbiker.com/Biker Planet. At least click it; it helps us, and check it out. Like we say, they're obviously care about the biker community, because they're willing to step up and support this podcast. So, the big announcement. Thank you, BD Kane, for bringing it up before we take it out here. You'll want to mark this. And this was Lurch's little brainchild. We are coming up on our 100th. This will not be it, Dar, by the way. Even though we're recording it, it seems like it's going to be the 100th. It's not. It's going to be pushed back a little bit. Sorry, man.
No!
he's cutting out, dude. He's off Blab. He's like, screw these guys. But we'll Lurch, the producer, he's really become a producer. I'm not kidding when I say that lightly. He came up with this brainchild. It's the 100th anniversary. Even though we brought 117 because we did all the SOA series stuff, those really weren't numbered. So really our core podcast, we're coming up on 100. And so the date to set is we're going to do a live event. It's going to be on Blab like this. Of course, the camera will be back so you can kind of see everybody in the studio. We're going to open seats, probably have some giveaways. The date is going to be, and I will put out emails, but you'll probably want to mark it now, is going to be February 6th. And we are going to go live on Blab at 2:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It'll probably, we're allowing up to a 3-hour episode. I know that's long. Some people will come, some people will go. We get it. But there'll be 2 to 5, basically, Pacific Standard Time on February 6th. It'll be via Blab. We're going to have multiple people in the studio. And Lurch is going to be in here, and BD Kane, Jake will be in here. LD might stop by. We're going to have multiple mics. It's really just going to be a bullshit session about where we started, where we came from. We've got Lurch, the producer, is pulling all kinds of old sound bites from when I was in the closet and back when Cuz was in helping me out, and just some really funny shit. So he's working on that. We're working hard on it. It was his idea, and I was just going to skip past it, which I'm just so busy. I did that, and he brought it to my attention, and I think it'll be good for the community too. And so we want your guys's, we'll be just having fun and talking about things and some old stories, and whoever jumps on Blab will click seats in and see if they want to say something, or if they want to bring up their memory or how they found Law Abiding Biker. And it's just kind of going to be a community event. So I'm glad BD Kane brought that up here, and so that I could announce that and all that. So awesome. It looks like BD Kane just bagged out on us, huh, Dar?
Yeah.
He bagged.
He has 0500 to
What's that? Yeah, true. Usually he's like going to say something before he bags out, but I guess he just had to go, or maybe he had to go pee or something, probably. So who knows? But with that said, we appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. We are going to take it out here, and hang on a sec real quick. Oh, no, somebody just opened a seat, but Chris England. Sometimes they pop up there on the seat, but all right. So it's closed, guys, and we'll be doing some more blabs. And do you see that popping up, Dar? In that closed seat?
No,
okay,
no.
All right, guys. So we're going to take it out. Really appreciate Dar being in the house, buddy. It's been awesome. Thank a couple donations, guys. Of course, we love the patrons, just like Dar's a patron, but we're never going to balk at a flat donation. Everybody's in a different spot, of course. And if you just want to give a flat donation, of course, we appreciate that. I want to thank the following people: Tim Allard of Amherst, New Hampshire, and Alejandro Guevara of Hialeah, Florida, Anthony Perrin of Battle Creek, Mission. Thanks, guys, for taking action. Thank you for getting involved. They simply went to lawabidingbiker.com/donate. They help put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this show heading on down the road, and it means so very much to us, guys. Call to action. Don't forget, the patrons support this app, guys. We have an app, and it's free. It's good for Google Play, Android App Store, Amazon Kindle App Store, of course, the Apple App Store. Just go to lawabidingbiker.com/app, A-P-P. You can get hooked up with the app. iTunes only carries about the last 50 episodes. So if you want to back catalog and see all our episodes, the app's the way to go, because they're all right in there for you guys. And that way you can back catalog. Of course, the show notes are in there. You can call us right from the app. It's really the best way to go if you're going to consume the Law Abiding Biker podcast on a regular basis. Any of them will tell you. And of course, the patrons, guys, are the ones the funds go, because that app has to be upkept, and there's coding involved and all that kind of stuff. And nothing's free, right? Nothing's free. And certainly the app is not free, guys. Don't forget, if you want to contact us, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. There's voicemail over there. If you want to leave a voicemail anywhere in the world, right from your microphone, right on your computer, lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail, guys. And of course, the Law Abiding Biker podcast hotline phone number, 509-731-3548. If you can't help us financially at this point where you're at, please at least rate us in iTunes, lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes or /Stitcher Radio if you're listening there. That helps bump us up in the rankings so more bikers around the world can find us and become what we call part of the biker revolution. Thanks, guys. Peace out. It's been good in the blabosphere. It's awesome. Dar, thanks, man, for being part of it.
Absolutely. You're welcome. And I hope that, I know that there are people out there listening in Southern California that, I really hope that they get involved. I mean, over the past, 2.5 years or so, I have met and have heard of people talking about this, and really more than the fact that, I don't know these people, but the common thread is we own a motorcycle, and that's interesting, and that's great. It's a good thing. And so, I'm more than happy to support you guys, because I think you guys are doing something that nobody else is really doing in the motorcycle community. And I hope that we can continue on this thing and make it work, and for everybody. It's beneficial for everybody.
Well, with guys like you in the community, there's no doubt that we can keep moving forward, man. And don't forget to email Rick, because he'll forget. And if he has an email, say, hey, remember the headset, because we want to get it to you. We have so much going on that if he doesn't have an email and we we'll label it high priority, he'll get it out to you. And then, hey, I want to ask you real quick. I know how Blab works, and one of the problems is, of course, the podcast. When we edit this, I'm recording it all on my side, so the music is going to sound good, the audio is going to, and Matt's going to work. I know on Blab that's one of the problems that's in beta. How does the music, when I'm doing my outro there in the music, is my voice, is it cutting the music out? Because that seems to be a trend.
There's a little bit of glitch. I'm not really sure. Like, to me, what I'm recalling is that when the music is on and you start talking, the music volume somehow drops, or there's a little bit of glitch in that transition. But because I'm wearing a headset, I'm not really hearing a whole lot of difference in terms of the quality. It sounds to me the same as if we were live, or it's a recorded podcast that, I listen to. So I'm not really sure if that's what you're looking for, but I think this. Well, let me put it this way. I did not like the chat wing setup. I think a few weeks ago, you guys were live, and a few people couldn't get on, or they were getting on through Chatwing and not through Facebook, and it was pretty confusing. And I used Chatwing at first, and then later on decided, you know what, I'm just going to log in with Facebook, and that made it a lot easier. I think in this format, I think it works just as well. I just have to sign up for Twitter, and so it's kind of hit and miss depending on what kind of platform you have to sign up with. And but I think that this way is easier and better than going through some kind of an app on Chatwing or something like that.
That is what I love, the honesty. That's what I need to know, so good. And I'm tweaking stuff. You know me, I'm trying to make it so easy for the bikers out there. So that's good. And I'm definitely taking it in, and I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes. So we may eventually drop that side of it. The problem is sometimes we just do audio. And so Mixler is what we use for just plain audio. It's that's our player. And the problem is it embeds on our live page. And so I embed it on there, and people can listen right from our live page. But if you want to chat on Mixler, you have to click on the Mixler, and then it takes you to Mixler, and then you're on a different platform. I was trying to keep everybody on the live page. And so I embedded the Chatwing app, which allows people. But then the problem is then you do something like Blab here, and we're taking everybody away from the live page. Kind of. Now Blab, it's in beta. You can actually embed it, so you can watch it on the live page. But if you want to be involved in the Blab chat, then you're clicking through to Blab. So I appreciate the feedback. I'm working on it, guys, and you're a smart guy. You understand a lot of what I'm talking about. I can tell. Trying to make everything work and keep it easy. But the feedback is what helps.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the videos, because I try to make that video for you for myself to document what I did. The 6-minute video that I put together took me the entire night. I mean, I didn't sleep until 3 a.m, and my wife was wondering, what the heck are you doing in the garage? And so, it was just one of those things that, like, I totally appreciate the amount of work you guys have to put in for each one of those shots that goes in and making those videos. And so I'm more than happy to pay my share for those videos, because it's important, and I know how hard it is to do it, to do it right. Because the other thing that I talked to you about this guy earlier with Mike was that, I like the law-abiding biker videos because they don't seem commercial. It's not a commercialized video. It's you guys in the garage. I know it's in someone's garage. Whereas if you go to other, more commercialized videos, it just feels like you're selling me something. It's not like a bunch of guys trying to get together and trying to work on a bike and document the process. And I feel like when I watch your videos, it's more of a documentary than you selling me something. And that's important to me. And I don't know what other people feel, but that's just one of those things that I would rather watch the facts. So I want to know the facts. I don't want to know what you're selling me.
That is, oh my God, you don't know how much that means to me, dude. Because it's a fine line. I try to do the professional videos because I want it to be good lighting, and I want people to really, the differences, I think, and I'm not going to mention any other companies' names, but there's another one that who I'm talking about that does Harley maintenance. The problem with that is that the mechanic's doing stuff and his helper, but the filmers don't know shit about mechanics. And so, that's the difference between us. I'm a videographer, but I also know the mechanics, so I can explain. I know both sides, and you're not going to get that when you have a couple of mechanics that know mechanics really well, and then you have videographers that know videography really well, and then they're trying to edit their stuff, and they're not getting it right, and so that means a lot to me to keep. I want it to be good quality, but I don't want it to be overproduced to where it looks fake. And you're like, there's some company, big, huge company behind that, because we're not a big, huge, company. So I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, because I'm always struggling with this stuff on how I present it. And I want it to be professional, but I don't want it to be overly produced. And so thanks, man. Thanks for that input. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I think I'm not alone in this. I think people that enjoy watching the video, it certainly makes people like myself who is new to the Harley community and new to the bike to say, hey, all I need to do is watch this video a couple of times. The instructions are very clear. I think that's the feeling that I get. It's not like a mechanic showing me, oh, it's a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic. I can't do it. But it's you guys, and that's the part that, to me, it's the attractiveness to all the videos.
That's awesome. And you're right. That's what it is. It's us doing stuff, and we usually do dry runs to figure it out. We have to learn it like everybody else. But then once we learn it, we're like, how can we teach this so that somebody else doesn't have to go through the headaches we go through? And I think hopefully that comes through, that now we're just giving it to you what we wished we could have found on YouTube when we were searching, kind of deal. So that's awesome, man. Well, God bless you. And thanks for coming on. We'll close it out. I hope you're getting some riding in down there, brother. And we're definitely, I guarantee it, I'm going to find a way to ride down there. We'll hook up with you and Matt Pass and Greg Gaxiel and all. There's tons more down there in California, the Patron guys. So, all right, man. Thanks to Blabosphere. Peace out, buddy. We'll be in touch. Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Take care. Bye.